How you doing, YouTube family? Today is Thursday, July the 24th, 2025. It's your man Big D, and I'm back with another one. Want to thank all you good folk out there in YouTube land for continuing to rock out with my son and I. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Well, family, I'm back with another video. And in this video, I am going to be giving my perspective to the lead attorney's um, um, commentary regarding William McNeil, who is a 22-year-old black man who was, in my opinion, violently arrested by the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. So we're going to check out what the lead attorney has to say, and I'm going to react to his commentary and my thoughts on this video along the way.
Yes, sir.
Is there a reason why you're popping the door open like that?
I don't have a window that works. Is there a reason that you're pulling me over?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a reason why I'm pulling you over. For one thing, inclement weather, you don't have your lights on. Two things, you're not wearing your seatbelt.
It's daylight. I don't need the lights. And it's not weather. It's not raining.
Oh, this is inclement?
It's not raining.
Okay, I'm not arguing with you. I'm telling you why I'm pulling you over.
All right, let's stop it right there. This gentleman has asked the officer, why are you pulling me over? There's nothing wrong with that. If you get pulled over, you have the right to know what's going on. The officer gives him two reasons. The first reason is that he doesn't have his headlights on. The second reason is that he's not wearing a seatbelt. Either one of these reasons is sufficient for the officer to pull this driver over. Now the driver says, hey, it's not raining. This is not inclement weather. The driver could be absolutely right. I believe the Florida statute necessitates that it either be raining, that it be foggy, or that it be smoking. We can see from the video here that it's not raining, not really foggy, not really smoking. So the defendant actually could win in court that, hey, he didn't have probable cause to pull me over. The issue though is that he was not wearing his seatbelt. So even if the officer pulled him over erroneously for the headlight violation, the officer still has him on the seatbelt. Now let's assume.
Well, now, everything that the lead attorney has said up until this point, I agree with. When you encounter the law enforcement, and particularly on a traffic stop, you have every right to ask the police officer or deputy or whoever, state trooper, whoever, the law enforcement officer, what's the reason for the traffic stop? What did I do wrong? There's nothing wrong with that. All the way up until the point where the whoever the deputy was, when the young man asked him, why you pulled me over, you can tell the way he fumbled over his words. Absolutely, I can tell you why I pulled you over. Inclement weather. Listen, I know all too well because I worked in the business for a long time, and I can personally say, yeah, I've seen stuff like this. I've seen it. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. You making up stuff just to pull people over because in reality, you're really looking for something else. But now, where the lead attorney said that although Florida law does require that you have your headlights on when it's raining, when it's foggy, or when it's smoking, or when you have smoke and whatnot, because people do a lot of burning down this way. But at the end of the day, when you look at things, um, in my opinion, if by legally, if there was no legal right for this deputy to pull this man over because the deputy said inclement weather. Well, as we can see, it's not nighttime. It doesn't appear to be raining hard enough that will require headlights. It is not foggy, and it's most certainly not smoking. So to me, the traffic stop is no good. The traffic stop is erroneous. And in my opinion, there's a term called fruits of the poisonous tree. Anything any type of evidence that you gain illegally, um, is no good. Whatever you find is no good. If the traffic stop is no good, um, then the seatbelt violation can't be any good because if you think about it, if the guy would have never conducted the traffic stop, he would have never knew that the young man wasn't wearing a seatbelt. Now, let me say this as well. Who's to say that between the time that the young man, that they stopped the young man and before he opened his door, he didn't take his seatbelt off? So it's a lot of things at play here that just looks all hella suspicious.
That the officer was mistaken and he's wearing his seatbelt, then both reasons are erroneous and the officer should not have pulled him over. What does that mean? It means that this young man can win in court. What this man cannot do is win on the asphalt. This driver is making a very poor decision in trying to argue his way and win his case in the street. He would be much better off, much safer if he could litigate this in court in a controlled environment where there are prosecutors who are hopefully reasonable, a judge who is hopefully reasonable, and maybe his own attorney. As we're about to see, he is in the street with none of these safeguards, and some of these officers, it appears, are not reasonable. It is my opinion that some of these officers demonstrated very poor police work, and so what I am going to do in the latter half of this video is show you some officers in a very similar situation that performed excellently. This is not a racial thing. In this situation, you have black and white officers and a black driver. And in the clip that I'm going to show you with excellent police work, again, you have black and white officers and a black driver.
So I will again agree with the lead attorney. Whenever you encounter law enforcement, in particularly in the general public in the community, man, don't argue with them. Do not try to hold court on the side of the road because, like the lead attorney said, just like he stated, it's you out there by yourself with all of them. And as we're going to see, there are those law enforcement officers that they're heavy-handed, they're overzealous, and they are quick to want to put their hands on somebody because they know they have the protection of the gun and the badge. Take those things away, you catch them on their day off, they just as soft as cotton, and that's a fact. Now, as he said, don't try to hold court on the side of the road because you will never win. It will never go well for you unless you have some level-headed law enforcement officers that are not looking to just try to bang somebody up.
But we're going to go ahead and break this down step by step from a legal framework so we can all understand what's going on. So what do we got? We have a cop making a stop. It appears to be good, but even if it's not, the driver is making the very first mistake in trying to contest this case on the street. He should take his tickets, sign it, and then show up to court and win there.
Give me your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance.
No, call your supervisor. Why?
Excuse me?
Call your supervisor. Why did you pull me over?
27, 35. I'm $50 driver. I've already told you.
Why did you pull me over?
Now look at this driver. He is making another mistake. He's saying, why did you pull me over? Well, we already discussed it. This officer pulled you over for a seatbelt violation and for a headlight violation. Sometimes drivers want to convince the officers that they didn't commit these violations. That is wrong. You don't try to convince the officers. You try to convince the judge. This driver is making some very serious mistakes in this traffic stop.
Step out of the vehicle.
No,
Step out of the vehicle.
Now, I'll say this. I have to agree with the lead attorney at this point because you probably don't want to try to get into an argument with these type of law enforcement officers on the side of the road. You just don't. And what you definitely don't want to do, you don't want to slam the door in their face because the first thing they're gonna try to articulate, well, we fear for our safety because the windows are tinted and he could have been going for a firearm. So you just don't want to put yourself you already in an effed up situation, especially because I'm gonna be honest with you. This young man, I don't know what he could have done any better to not, this man sustained stitches, a chipped tooth. This young man was very respectful. And I don't see anything that he did wrong up to this point other than just making some foolish young mistakes, like trying to argue with him on the side of the road, because he definitely would have won in court. Definitely would have won in court because a stop is no good. But slamming the door in their face, man, you just probably don't want to do that because, it's just not going to go well for you.
The police officer gave this driver a lawful command to step out of the vehicle. He needs to step out. He is not doing that either. This driver is setting himself up to be in a very risky situation.
25 seconds. For 94, the driver just slammed the door and locked it. Keep your hands where I can see them, sir. My camera's on too. I've already told you. Okay. Okay. Right now you're under arrest for resisting. You understand? You're under arrest for resisting. The longer you take us on, the worse it's going to be.
Let's stop it.
So there you go right there, family. You can see that, although whoever this deputy is, it don't sound like it, but he getting agitated. And now the young man has incurred, a charge. When it was just, to me, at this point, I don't really see a legitimate stop. So I'm gonna argue that at this point, if the stop is no good, I don't see no legitimate traffic violations. Other than they was looking for something more than just to write him a citation. So let's continue.
Right here, a lot of people have pointed out correctly that even the responding officer's headlights are not on. So it seems very hypocritical for officers to pull over drivers for their headlights when the officers themselves are violating the law regarding their headlights.
That's 100%.
But that's neither here nor there. If these drivers are committing violations, the officers have the right to pull them over.
Sir, this is your last warning to open the vehicle and exit before we're going to break the window. Open the door and exit or we are going to break the window. Open the door and exit or we are going to break the window.
Well, we're conducting a traffic stop right now. You need to
No, he's under arrest. Open the door and exit. You are under arrest for resisting. Open the door and exit. You are under arrest for resisting.
Can you unlock the door and step out? I will. Can you step out? You're being done. There's a traffic stop being conducted. You're required to comply.
Let me stop it right here. Can you guys sense the difference in the tone of these two police officers? The first officer with a very elevated, aggressive tone is saying, open the door, you're under arrest for resisting. The second officer, the responding officer, said, hey man, can you open the door? Can we talk? This is how you want your police officers interacting with the community. Let me put myself on the big.
I agree. I would agree with the lead attorney. You can tell, like I said, buddy on the other side, you can hear it in his voice. He's aggravated. He is aggravated, and the first chance he get to go hands on with his brother, he gonna be overly aggressive. And whereas his co-worker trying to be cool, hey bro, can you please can you just open the door, man? Let's, you know what I'm saying? Let's just not make this any worse than what it already is.
Screen for a second because this is important. Guys, these police officers work for us, all right? They are here to protect us and to serve us. They're part of the government. When the police officers pull you over, there does need to be some understanding that, hey, we're all in the same community. You can talk to me like I'm a human being, even if I am not obeying your commands. Why is that? I'll be honest with you guys. People are going through stuff every single day. Everybody goes through things. Cops pull people over on a day that their mother has passed away. Cops pull people over when they've been diagnosed with cancer and they have 90 days or 6 months to live. Cops pull people over when they've just been fired from their job. Do any of these excuses justify crazy behavior? No. But this driver is not acting crazily. This driver is resisting, and that's fine. But he's not being aggressive. The police later on, through the sheriff, indicated that they found a knife under his seat or by his feet, but they also indicated that he made no attempt to grab that knife. What you would want from police officers is a little bit of understanding, not like the first cop, but like the second cop, just saying, hey man, can you just step out? Can we talk? I really like the approach from the second officer, just being a little kind, a little human to human grace and understanding.
I agree with the lead attorney. I agree with him 100%. This second guy right here that's talking to the young brother, he's trying to de-escalate the situation while the buddy on the other side, he just want to go hands on. And what the lead attorney pointed out is this: cops are people too, and sometimes police officers, deputies, law enforcement officers, however you want to term it, they are going through BS too in their lives. And you will be surprised how many people in law enforcement agencies that have high ranking positions that they are doing effed up things that will one day potentially cost them their job. So, yeah, he is 100% right. Law enforcement is there for the people. Cops are supposed to protect and serve and protect. That's what should be going on. It shouldn't be this is us against the community. That's not the way it's supposed to be. But unfortunately, people need jobs, and these agencies have to hire people. And as long as they background, they ain't tarnished, and they can go through a police academy and become state certified, they'll give them a job. And they can be racist as all outdoors. They can be biased as all outdoors, but as long as the background look good, they'll take a chance and hire them. I see it all the time.
Vehicle's blocked there.
Yes.
He's locked it up. He's putting the window down.
Correct.
I tried to talk to
Huh? Okay. So what did he ask for when he I guess,
When he pulled me over, he walked up.
Look at this, look at this. This officer is saying, hey, tell me what's going on, talk to me. The first officer isn't asking any question, like, get out of the car, get out of the car. The second officer says, hey man, let's come to a common understanding. Let's try to de-escalate this. Do you guys see how the first officer is escalating it? The second officer is trying to de-escalate it. Shout out to this second officer.
I said, so what I did wrong?
Yeah.
He said, well, for one, your headlights are off under this weather. I'm like, there's multiple people headlights.
Okay, that's still
and then there's no rain.
It doesn't matter. You're still required to have headlights on.
Can you pull that?
Well, this officer is incorrect right here, but what all attorneys learn in our first year of practicing criminal defense is that officers are not attorneys. So many times they have a misunderstanding of what the law is. They will misquote the law, and that's fine. That's what courts are for. That's what judges are for. When this man says, hey, it's not raining, and the officer says, it doesn't matter, you got to have your headlights on, that's an incorrect statement of law. But that's fine. Let's keep going.
Right. That is an incorrect statement of law, because the Florida state statute clearly reads at any time from sunset to sunrise, including the twilight hours. Twilight hours shall mean the time between sunset and full night, or between full night and sunrise. During any rain, smoke, or fog, stoplights, turn signals, and other signal devices shall be lighted as prescribed for use of such devices. So, as the lead attorney said, I agree with him. Absolutely. Police officers are not lawyers. Lawyers go to law school. Police officers only go through 6 months of an academy. And you learn the basic laws. You learn legal 1, 2, and 3. That's the extent of I know here in the state of Florida, that's the extent of the law that we get in the academy. Now, there are other advanced training courses that are offered as you progress in your career. Like, I took a hell of a lot of advanced training courses, because that's how you become better than just going through the academy for 6 months and that's it. If you want to become very proficient at your job, you must learn the laws that's applicable to what you're doing, and you must know them inside and out. And that way, you need to be at least, if not on the same level as an attorney, but you should darn near know damn near just as much. That's just my opinion. You should know just as much as an attorney. Ain't no excuse because you just a cop and you didn't go to law school. You can still study the state statutes if you know how to read and you got common sense and you got a Webster's dictionary. You can arrive at valid conclusions. Now, there are some laws where they can be kind of tricky, but by and large, the state statute is clear as black and white. There was no reason for them to pull this young man over. It wasn't raining, it wasn't foggy, there was no smoke, and it damn sure wasn't between sunrise and sunset. So the traffic stop is no good.
You pull that law
Yeah,
up?
when you step out of the car, I will.
Hey,
Can you call your supervisor?
Huh?
Can you call your supervisor?
All right, go for it.
Oh.
Here we
Oh.
go.
Vehicle now. Exit the
Bam.
vehicle.
See, here we go.
All right, let's stop it right there. Guys, this right here,
Man, that right there is uncalled for. That is uncalled for. That shit is unprofessional. And to be honest with you, that's the same dude who I said couldn't wait to go hands on. Man, let me tell you something. This dude right here don't need to have a job. Because when you have them Billy badasses like that, this same dude, you catch his ass when he ain't got that uniform on and he ain't tote no gun and no badge, he'll be soft as wet cotton. Won't bust a grape. But he wanna go all ham on this young brother. Man, come on. Cause this man didn't, I get it. The brother didn't readily apply. I will say the brother should have went on ahead and complied with the orders, went through the process, and just got him a lawyer. Just get you a lawyer and sue. But to try to hold court on the side of the road is never going to end in your favor. It's just not.
absolutely is indefensible. There is no reason why this man should have been punched in the mouth. He has not been physically aggressive with these officers. He has not threatened these officers in any way. This gentleman is saying some stupid things. He's like, hey, show me the law. You're not entitled to see what the law is while you're on the asphalt, all right? That's what court is for. This driver is very confused about where he's at. But you are allowed to be confused without getting punched in the teeth. You're gonna hear a lot of people review this footage and they're gonna say, well, if he would have complied with this officer's lawful orders, this would not have happened. They're right. But even though they're right, it does not excuse this type of mistreatment, this type of abuse. Again, I'm going to show you a very similar situation where the officers there handled it beautifully. These officers can enforce the law without abusing the community. I could already tell from the way that this officer was conducting the traffic stop that he was looking to escalate the situation. It's come out that this officer has received numerous complaints in the past. Of course, the sheriff's office investigates these and no real punishment was meted out. So many times when you practice criminal law, you will have these same officers on the witness stand. And as an attorney, you are cross-examining them. And let me tell you, so many of these officers, they do not like it. They feel like they should be the ones in power. They should be the ones in control. And when you start asking them very pointed questions and insist and demand on an answer, now they get their backs all bowed up. Here, this driver was not complying with what this officer wanted, and now this officer's back is all bowed up, and this officer's gonna show this man who's boss. So the first thing that this officer does when he makes physical contact with this driver is punch him in the teeth. This is absolutely inexcusable. Now, let me say, the state's attorney's office has investigated this situation, and guess what they found? They found that this officer committed no wrongdoing. This officer has been cleared of any criminal charges. So does this mean that if you don't follow an officer's direction, any officer can come up and punch you in the teeth? This sets a very bad precedent about how police can interact with us, and it justifies this long-standing distrust that some people, some communities have with the police. Punching this non-compliant but non-violent driver is inexcusable.
Exit the vehicle! Show me your hands.
Here.
1033 at 16.1 hours.
I'm here. What is your reason, sir? What is your reason?
Step out now.
All right. No, don't touch me.
Oh, come on, man.
Wow.
Come on. Did you
Wow.
guys see the second punch? Punched him right in the mouth again. We're going to look at this in slow motion, and there might be some people who want to justify this second punch. And let me tell you, this man, in my opinion, the driver, is being compliant. It is impossible for you to comply with 4 or 5 officers pulling you in different directions. Some officers are going to want you to go to the ground. Other officers are going to want you to stand up so they can cuff you while you're being ragdolled around. What does that look like? It looks like you're not complying. But what's happening is that you have 4 or 5 grown men tugging on you in different directions. Let's take a look at what's going on. We can see here that the officer who broke the window has his right arm around the subject's head and neck, right? Now look, he reaches in, he reaches back, he balls his fist up. As he balls his fist up, let's take a look to see where the driver's hands are. The driver's hands are behind his back. This man is causing no threat to the officer who's about to punch him in the mouth. Boom, right there. This is inexcusable. Hits him right in the jaw, and again, this man's arms are behind his back. He falls to the ground. Now, I'm telling you, it can look like this man is resisting, but I want you to have 4 or 5 officers pulling and grabbing on you, pushing your body, pushing your head to the ground. Your pain receptors will cause you to move. They've got the driver down. Now look at this. The same officer who made the initial stop, the officer who punched the guy in the mouth twice, now he's punched the guy in the back of the leg, in the hamstring. Y'all see his arm right there? That's one punch. Do you see his fist? That's the second punch. It looks like, oh my God, it looks like he gave him a nut shot. Here's another punch, a third punch. Here's another punch, a fourth punch. Meanwhile, guys, this man has his hands behind his back, and there are 3 or 4 officers on his back, and this officer is still pounding away on this young driver. Here's another punch, a 5th punch. Look at this man. There's an officer there with his hands, both hands, on this man's head, pushing his head into the ground. Meanwhile, you have, and that's fine. You have to get control of these individuals. I understand that. But why are you?
Yeah, but man, the young man is compliant. He is not resisting. How can you resist when you have when you have your left arm behind your back and somebody is a hold of your wrist and you got somebody pressing your face into the damn asphalt. So he not resisting. So why in the hell is this guy punching on this dude? Man, this is uncalled for. They need to fire him, strip his certification, and bring damn charges. No cause for this.
Punching this man in the thighs. This is inexcusable.
What's wrong with you?
What you mean? I was putting my hands behind my back. I was on.
Ain't no talking now, man. Ain't no talking.
You know, the sad thing about it is you got two brothers on scene, and y'all just gonna stand idly by, and probably was involved with it. Can't really tell from the body camera footage, but this stuff right here is just appalling to see that black folk, y'all black law enforcement, man, y'all is down with this. Y'all gotta do better. Y'all gotta do better, because I was never with no nonsense like this. You ain't just gonna be pounding on no citizen that's compliant and just pounding on them just because you done had a bad day because the guy didn't obey your commands. And I agree with the lead attorney. Some law enforcement, they think that because they got a gun and a badge that they are all powerful, that all powers is in their hand, and that's a damn character flaw. That's a damn character flaw. And what happens is, as this person rises in rank, they start promoting and surrounding themselves by individuals who is just as flawed as they are, just as effed up as they are. And unfortunately, that's what goes on in these agencies. But what happens is when you try to speak up and try to correct things, then you get alienated. And they start now they're gonna come for you. And unfortunately, that's just the way it is.
You're under arrest. That's what's going on.
No,
Yes, bro. Yes.
That was a lawful reason, bro. You look on the phone like that, bro?
Yeah, I'm gonna take it off of you, bro.
All right, guys. So we see what's going on. In my opinion,
Man, family, I'm gonna stop it right there. The fact of the matter is, in my opinion, anybody who's saying that, oh, if he would have just complied, he wouldn't have got all of this. He shouldn't have got all of this anyway. And if you are hiring law enforcement officers that are so quick to go hands on because people don't readily comply. Now, I can see if the guy was reaching for a gun, reaching for a weapon, he was trying to drive off. The officer's safety was in danger or whatnot. I can understand maybe being a little overly aggressive, but this young man didn't do anything to deserve that. He did not. And the injuries that he sustained, it's just, it's just not cool. It is not cool. But family, y'all be safe out there, and remember when y'all encounter these law enforcement officers, man, don't matter if they the same color as you, man. Some of them even worse than they white co-workers. So you got to be safe out there. And you know what? Don't try to hold court on the side of the road. Don't try to do it. You'll lose every time. You'll lose every time. Get you a lawyer and you take it to trial. You take it to court. Go speak to an attorney and go to court if you have to. Well, family, always remember more tomorrow than you were yesterday. Peace.